we are testing. Hello. Can someone? Hello. Can someone? Hello. Can someone? So we are starting for today. Hope everybody is able to hear me. Can you confirm? I have changed the microphone. Shashi, yeah, you said the voice is breaking. Can you again confirm that it is working now? Good morning, everyone. Say hi into the chat window if you are there, and also in case you are able to hear the voice. Okay, great. So we'll start journey. Yesterday we talked about real-time analytics. We talked about the core concepts of real-time analytics, and Surya Teja has helped us out. Today we are going to look into more into the practical aspect of that. We are going to try out how can we get data using event streams. Now, in some of these cases, we might not have the data with us, the streaming data. I do have created a video where I have shown you how can you create your own streaming data, which I will also provide you in the description, and it's also part of the my earlier series on Microsoft Fabric, where you can take advantage of creating your own stream using some of the methods which are available. But today what we are going to do is we are going to use this sample data and to start these streams and test it out. How can we use some real-time data, and finally how can we learn and use KQL. So we are doing this series for DP700, as you are aware. So that's the main objective, and I'm pretty sure that you have the um, you have the details available how to apply for vouchers. In case some of you don't have that detail, I'm going to share it with you. So first of all, how to apply for the voucher. So there is a link and there is a video for that. So I'm going to share that with you. And while I'm sharing that, let me also shift my screen to the main screen where we are going to have action today. So hope everybody is able to see the screen where we are able to see the DP700 workspace, and those of you who want to practice, hopefully they have already created this workspace and using that. So let me give you the details how to apply for voucher and where is the video for that which you can watch. So this is the place. I think we are sharing it daily only for the people who are new. Make sure you apply it before 5th of December. It typically takes 2 weeks to come, and you have to plan your exam before 15th of December, and you have to clear it before 31st of December. So these are the timelines. Please remember those. Now, in case some of you are little new, I know a few of you are joining daily, and those who are going to watch this little later, I am also giving this link into the chat, and we'll add it to the description also, the video where you can learn how actually you have to apply for it, what all details you need to fill. And we are continuing this series. Today we are on the 5th video, and we will continue to have this series running. On Monday we will talk more about T-SQL, and this is what session is. It's more about SQL databases, where we'll be learning how to use the transactional database on Monday. So we'll continue this series till next Friday, but big thing is coming on Saturday. I will be live twice, one for the DP 600 series, which Rajendra is organizing, and then we are organizing as Hyderabad Data Analytics Community and Microsoft Fabric India Group. Bharat is organizing on his channel Bharat's Inside for PL300, and I'm hopeful that you will participate on that. And where also we are going to tell you, how to apply for PL300 vouchers. And in case you look more help on the PL300, I am just sharing the video. So without any further delay, let's start today's journey. And what we are going to do today is we want to do this real time. Now for real time, we need some real time data. Typically this data is captured by event stream because it's coming from IoT devices, like maybe we can use Azure IoT Hub for that, or it can come from Kafka, we can capture from there, and various other methods. So right now what we are going to do is we are going to take some sample data, and for that what we are going to do is we are going to use event stream. And those of you are actually using BI-Words login, and in case you start those event stream or activators, my request would be go ahead and close that by the end of your experiment, because what would happen, these will consume capacities, and because we are using shared capacity, other will not be able to try out. So I have already opened a workspace. This workspace is basically a trial workspace. It is using a trial capacity. So one is that you can start a trial. Some of you have asked, so here we have button start trial. Not everybody in the organization can start trial. We have only 5 to 7 trial. So we are like around 200-300 people who are trying to use this. You can't start trial for everyone. So what you are going to do is some of the trial capacities which I have already shared with you on WhatsApp as well as on the chat window whenever we were discussing this. When you create the workspace, you use those trial capacities. Now to work on these trial capacities, sometimes you also require a Pro or PPU license, and then you can start. Most of us can start a Pro or PPU. So even if your Fabric trial is expired, then we can start the Pro or PPU trial. Or if we cannot start the Fabric trial, we can start Pro and PPU. Now if all trials are over, let's say even if you don't have PPU or Pro trial, and if you want to work with a free Fabric or free Power BI license, in that case you need to ask someone who is having the trial left. Like after 2 days I may not be able to work with this login, because if the trial does not get extended, or I will not have both PPU or Pro trial, then I need to have a workspace shared by someone which is on Fabric capacity. And that is why I ask you, okay, in case nothing is working, to use the Fabric workspace which is having the trial capacity, you will be able to work. So these are the workarounds you can do to make sure you are working. So let's start the journey. New item, and in this new item, search for event stream. Now you can scroll down, and in the get data, you will also get this event stream. This is a method to get, means we are trying to get the real-time event streaming data. So, and what is real time? The velocity of the data is really high. Velocity high, volume may or may not be high. Sometimes this is not many columns which are coming in. This very subtle data which is coming up, the velocity is very high, and because of the velocity the volume increase, because every second you are getting thousands of transactions. It may not be too many columns coming in one time, but over a period of time you have a huge volume of data coming in. So now new event stream which we'll call test event 01, and let's create it. And some of these UIs have changed little bit over a period of time. So if you see my video which I've done in August, or if you see my videos which I've done pretty earlier than that, you will find huge difference. Concept wise things have not changed, but yes, UI wise the things have evolved a lot. This is much more easier version of UIs what we are using right now. So now we want to get the data. What options we have? We can connect to the sources. We have option in the middle of our screen. Use sample data, which you are going to do is use custom endpoint. Similarly, add source, connect data source, sample data. All these options are available. If I click on the connect to data source, you will see a very familiar UI, which you have seen in kind of Power Query also when you add the sources. Azure Event Hub and Azure IoT Hub. I think both of these I might have explained in older video how to get data from Azure IoT Hub and Event Hub. So IoT Hub I have created a device and then I have showcased in one of the video, and Event Hub I might have shown in a different video where I have generated the events in the code, Python code from my machine, and then that events I have captured. So both things are possible. Now you should have actually have some kind of a real-time data for that in your customer. I'm just telling you the way you can create those events. Now here we are not going to use any of those ways. We are going to use the sample data. Now there is a sample bicycle data is available. There are yellow taxi data, stock market, buses, all data is there. Yellow taxi is pretty heavy, so just be careful in case you plan to use that. So we are saying we are fine with this bicycle data and add it. Now once you add it, this is our source. Once it starts getting the data from the source, it will start showing you in the purview. So you will see the preview of the data. Then this is the handler. Then this is the handler, and then finally we have to do some kind of a transformation in case we want to do the transformation, or we have to set a destination. And I can have multiple destinations, not that I can only have one destination. I can send it to activator, I can even send it to the KQL endpoint, basically to Custo database, Eventhouse. Now we got the data, we need to take some action. We want to do some alerting. Why do we do that? Basically, when you're looking at live data, definitely you're looking for some action. And those actions are typically on exceptions, like temperature going too high, too low, or there is something which is breaking. We want to know that. So we want to handle the exceptions. And that is why we need some kind of alerting mechanism which alerts. Where should it alert? Either alert on Teams or emails, or there could be other methods like even WhatsApp phone could be there. So we want to have those mechanisms where we get the alerts. We came to know that, okay, something is not working as expected. So here we are going to use data activate. I think theory part has been covered in detail yesterday by Surya, so I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to show you the practical application. So I'm clicking on activator. Now once I click on the activator, it gives the destination as activator, workspace name, and name of the activator. I'm going to create a new one. So click on create new and call it, let's say, active 03, 01, 02, whatever you want. Format we are going to keep JSON only, and then we are going to save. Now at this stage, you simply go and try to open your activator 03, which is in your workspace. You will not see anything. And so how do we see the data? First of all, this data should come here. Okay, so you are seeing this bicycle data preview here. Then you will see the data is coming till this place. Now the data should also come to activator. Okay, so once it is start coming to the activator, or after some time, you can go ahead and publish it. Unless you publish it, your activator will not be able to see the data. So then what we can do is we can go to the activator and set the alerts. Okay, so right now there is no authoring errors. So we are getting the bicycle data. We are having the preview here. It's increasing, coming to the stream, and it is going to the activator. We can edit and check all the details. I find it has been saved, no issues. So why don't we come out and publish it? We are in the edit mode right now. Okay, and let's publish it. So now it is publishing. So once it is published, the activator should start receiving the data also. So now you can see that activator So bicycle data preview, event data preview, and data activator is loading. So data activator, we are also going to get the data preview, and you can refresh and check it out. And this starting process does take few seconds to start, but post that it is very smooth process. It is continuously coming. I do have experienced that in the past. And these are some data insights, automatic data insight, how much things you have got and all those, and then runtime logs which are coming in. So we will start getting all these things once we start getting. See, data is still loading, still it's not running. So once it start getting this data, then I can go and schedule my alerting. That also I'll show. So I'm just waiting for it to load, and meanwhile, in case you have some questions, I can answer those. And so we are running this continuous series. Hope you have some questions from previous or this one. You might have questions from previous sessions, might have questions from this session. Feel free to ask them. Our moderators will try to answer you. We are joined by Vijaya, Mani Deepak, Mamta, for answering your questions. Sasi is also there. He keep on answering questions. He's also helping us out, and then you can help each other. This is just a learning journey where we are participating in each other's success. All of us wanted to be having DP 700 certification by end of December, and that's the objective. So while we were talking, we can see now that we are getting the data in activated. Time has come that we go ahead and start using the alerting. Now we have seen the method of creating activator directly from themes. You can also create from the new menu. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to my workspace, and here I can see my activator. Now once you come to this UI, if your activator is up and running, you will see this, but you may be able to see a blank UI which is asking for the source to run this activator. If you have configured your activator from some other place and it is showing a blank UI, it means it's not listening. And one of the reason I observed, in case I was using event stream, that I not publish my event stream. If I don't publish, the activator will not listen. So you are not seeing when you are expecting, it means your source has some problem. Second, it taken some time. It taken those 2 to 3 minutes to set up this feed from stream to activator. You have to wait for that. So after doing both the things, we are here, we are able to see, and it directly doesn't land us on the home. It lands us on the events where we can start the new rule. So if you look at the home, you have the get data still, you have custom actions also, and in the events you have the new rules. Now I am receiving the data. My objective here is to configure a new rule. What is this new rule will be? New rule will be taking actions on something which is happening. Typically we take actions which is something which avoids something happening wrong. But yes, if you are looking for something good, that you can also share an alert for that. So plus new rule. So on our live streaming of data, and KQL is really important, and live streaming data, real-time analytics is really important for DP 700 specifically. If you are going DP 600, you might have to practice a little less, but for DP 700 it's really important. So do try these things out. So I'm going to create a new rule, and you can see it automatically adds certain things for you. So event name, condition on every value. I don't want to create an alert on every value. I'm getting millions of rows, and on those millions of rows I may get millions of alerts. I don't need that. Okay, so which one I want? Numeric state, text state, logical state. I say I don't want it on numeric state. Greater than or equal to. What should be the value on the greater than or equal to? On greater than or equal to, the value should be, let's say, greater than 10. Of which column? Number of bikes. If number of bikes greater than 10, I do have values like 25 in the row. So, and what is the data type? You can say, okay, it's a number. And so I have a condition now. Now where do I want to? Email or Teams? I actually want Teams because I can easily check it. Or fabric item, or create custom actions. See, what should I do? I have options. Let's do team. Team for individual message, group chat, channel post. I would like to get individual message. All of you should also select that when you are practicing. Activator alert, and I can write down the condition has been met. Instead of condition, I can say the bicycle has crossed 10, we need to take some action and all those. Then context, what additional information, number of bikes, number of empty dogs, ID, long, lat, all these information, whatever I want to share. And then what I can do here is basically I can ask to send me a test alert. Let me save it. I'm not starting, you pay attention. You can save the activator to send you the alerts, but you are not starting it. So first of all, let me send a test action. Now test action, what it is going to do is it's going to make sure that activator is configured properly. And while we were talking, I have already got one activator alert on my window, and I'm going to bring that window in and going to showcase you. Let me bring, and I have done this since yesterday. I am doing it, so I did get multiple alerts, but this is the alert, 7:20 AM India time. We got a test alert. Okay, longitude, latitude, number of bikes. It should have also passed actually. Now let's start this. Okay, now let's start this and check out the live feed. We are getting the live data. Okay, and we should also be able to get some alerts. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out the teams again. Am I getting some alerts? And after I start getting 1 or 2 alerts, I'll stop this activator, because I don't want to invest the capacity on testing. Okay, so all of you who are practicing on the demo or the trial capacity or just for testing, you should stop your activators. Yes, or your organization, in case you are using activators to get the messages, who will go to continue. And you can see so many alerts have just come in. Now I see a question from Varun. What is the context? I'm not sure, Varun, you join it later or something. We are talking about real-time alerting mechanism today. We are showcasing the alerts, how to create alerts on real-time data, and here we are using a sample real-time data. And as you can see, a lot of messages are already coming in, and I just don't want to have this my teams bombarded with the messages, and I done with my testing, and I want you to now test it out. Some of you already have the BI World logins, and I'm assuming everything is working fine with those logins, so you can use that. So let me go ahead and do one thing is, I can now go ahead and stop this activator. So stopping, what does stopping activator means? Now it is no more going to send me the alerts. The event stream will continue to receive the events. Activator will receive the events, but there is no action. So we are now able to see how to get an event stream data, and then how can we share the alerts using that on Teams. Now we have other actions which you can explore, like here we talk about actions on Teams, then you can choose fabric item. Now when you select fabric item to run. You want to run a notebook, you can run the notebook. Now your notebook, you can pass the parameters, you can run a job. Okay, so then what would happen? Alert comes in, it gets passed to the notebook action comes in, you pass the parameter so that notebook could capture, you do some action there, and that action is again going to generate something or do some action. You are asking about the context. Context field, during the definition of activator setup, you selected some fields. What does context of the field does? So I think when I selected for the condition, so condition is basically what condition you wanted to have these alerts on. Then once I selected a condition, I have option like numeric state. Is it a number data type? Is it a text data type? Or is it a logical data type? So I have a number data type. Then I selected the column which is number of bikes. What value? Okay. So greater than equal to of a number of bytes 10, default type is 10. That is where I selected, and then I selected the actions. So actions I have selected basically teams, individual, messages, but there is possibility to have email also, as well as we can use the fabric items. We can call certain fabric items and pass the parameters from here. And what are those parameters which you go to pass? In the activator we do have parameters where we are selecting what all parameters we can pass. People can pass those columns and the other item should capture it. Okay, like when we sending the message, it do show us the messages. Okay, these are the values. So you will get the value, activator will send you the value, the destination should be able to capture those. So these are the columns which you can send. Okay, so I'm getting like number of buying, longitude, latitude, number of empty dock, all these information I can send in the context to the destination. So this context is basically the columns which I'm going to send. If you might have noticed when I was getting alert, let's go back and see, are we getting these columns? So we selected some of these columns, and we go to you see when I was getting this alert, and pay attention here, I was getting all these information. These were the information which I selected in the context. This is what I wanted you to know. Okay, number of bikes were 16, empty docks, long let, and the ID. I think at that time I selected ID, not the bike ID. So these are the things which I was sharing. So those things are getting shared. Now the destination need to capture and display it. So this activator, Teams activator, capturing those and just displaying us. If it is a workbook, a notebook basically, you need to take these actions and handle in your notebook and take some further action. It's a job. Okay, so context is passing the information to the handler. So here the handler was team is just displaying that. Okay, and then there are advanced settings which you can also play around, like wait for late event arrival 2 minutes, 1 minute, change that. Okay, so right now it's waiting for late arrival event for 2 minutes. So now we are done with the activator, and now what we are going to do is, next step is to go ahead and a little bit of KQL. Now one of the things to do is basically that data which I was getting here, I can push that to an Eventhouse or KQL database, event stream, isn't it? Or I can load some sample data and can try it out. So let me do one thing here is, first of all, let me add an Eventhouse. Eventhouse is nothing but a data store for real-time data. And the advantage of Eventhouse is that when we are working, the data which is still in the stream can also be combined with the data which is committed. And it is all meant for fast stream of data. It is made for the purpose, for real time. So we are going to create an Eventhouse, and we can call it as KQL test 01. Now it's going to create an Eventhouse and going to open, and in this one, if you can see, it also has created a KQL database for KQL database. And if I click on that KQL database, it's going to show me the query set. Query set is the queries which you are running. Tables, there are no tables as of now, and this is the place where I can go ahead and add data also. If I have some data, I can go ahead and bring that data in. So I'll show you the way. You can click on this tables, ellipsis icon, 3 dots, new, and create a table. That's the one way. Second way is you click on KQL dataset, 3 dots, get data, and get the data, or you can have click here, get data, and get the data. So any which ways you want it, get data from one lake, from event stream. We have an event stream, if you know, existing event stream, you can try to capture from there. So let's click on that existing event stream. Okay, click here. First of all, we need to create a table here. Okay, now I don't know the structure of the table, so I'll go back. I can't do it like this. So we will go to that event stream and try to configure. Now here what I'm going to do is, first of all, get data, one lake, click on new table. Let's give it as a name, sales. Let's go to the workspace. I do have this older workspace where in the Lakehouse Lake01 I should have a file. I have this sales data CSV and I'll try to use it. Next, this is the same CSV I am using, so use first to as add is automatically detected, and data types and everything is going to detect. Okay, I have edit button if I want to do something. I have advanced settings, and then seems like data seems good to me, isn't it here? And so what I can do is I can go ahead and finish. So what is going to creating the table, creating the mapping, and data queuing. Going to queue the data, going to come one by one, and it's going to load into our data. Rows, and here it is Eventhouse. You can see all the rows got ingested. Now you can see the sales table. You can see the data here. And now what I can do, I can write down the queries on it. And the second thing which I was trying was get data event stream. Let's try it again, and let's call this event stream is bicycle data. Now workspace, which workspace it is coming? This is today's workspace. What is the event stream name? Test event 1, event stream 1. Process event before ingestion, I would just want to check that. And data connection name is automatically taken. I'm just doing that. Press on next. Now for your event stream to work, make sure that it's already streaming the data. It's found 50 events. Again, data types and everything, just check it out and finish it off. Creating the object, creating mapping. And once you get the close button, now it's creating the data connection. We can wait a little bit to it to load and close on it. So we can press the, now we got the data, we should be getting something there. Now directly you can explore this results, undo ingestion, create new dashboard, real-time analytics dashboard. We are going to explore a little later, but yes. So we have now bicycle data also coming in for us. So I'm hoping it will load within some time, a few minutes. So while bicycle data is getting loaded, well, let's focus on sales data and let's try to run some KQL. Now, some of you are familiar of SQL. We have done some practice of SQL. We know how to do. So if we would have in SQL, we would have said select star from SQL. Okay, and these days SQL is also supported for, for KQL database. So let's learn this. So what we are going to do is we have this option query with the code, show top any 100 rows, and then we have SQL show any 100 rows. So let's take out how does it happen. So show any 100 rows. And the moment I done this, you see this KQL test -01 query set. Query set means basically set of queries. It's just like our notebook or our T-SQL, we created those T-SQL queries. It's just like that. So table name, then a pipe sign, take 100. I want to take the 100 rows. So taking 100 rows. Very good. So let this query set be open. We go back to the database and query with code. Let's click on the sales table. Query with code, SQL, show 100 record. So now we get select star from 100. So now you know how to take it using KQL and you know how to take it using SQL. So you can run both SQL and KQL side by side in parallel. Now what I've done is we have to run these queries. So I already created a file and I'm going to share those things with you. And this file is not yet uploaded on the GitHub, but today I will try to upload it on GitHub so that you get it. So let me do one thing for the purpose, let me share it with you. But don't worry, you will get all these commands. Now second thing what I will do is I would like to apply some filters, isn't it? So let's apply some filters. So sales, region equals to east and category equals to watches and quantity greater than 1. This is what I wanted to know. So let me select this and run. How you are going to do it in SQL? Okay, any takers of SQL, select star from sales where regions equal to is and category equals to watches and quantity greater than 1. Let's copy this, go to this one, paste it, select star from sales where region equals to, no double equals to record, and then we will use single quotes. SQL is single quotes, is it? And then and works there. Let's try this out. Okay, same thing KQL, same thing SQL. So what we are doing here is, we know how to do things in SQL. We're trying. One of the common thing which we do in SQL, what we do in SQL? Count star, isn't it? We want to know how many rows I have. Select count star from sales. Give me the count of rows. How do I do it in KQL? Okay, so let's try that. Let's go to this KQL one. Sales count of rows. And KQL is meant for the purpose here. So given a choice between SQL and KQL, I would prefer KQL. It's meant for the purpose. Now let's try more things. We don't only count, we don't only display data, we want to aggregate the data, isn't it? You want to create some formulas, you want to aggregate, showcase it. So what do we want? Select from the sales, we want to summarize the data. We want to create a new formula. Total sales equals to sum of quantity multiplied by unit price. I want to multiply. Now Power BI, we would have done sum x quantity multiplied by unit price in case of major, or we would have created a column either in Power Query or DAX, quantity multiplied by price, and later on aggregated it in a major, and total quantity sum of quantity. And how I want to summarize? By category. In SQL, group by and the formulas. And what would you have done in Power BI? You would have created these measures and just drag category and these things into your Power BI report, isn't it? In Power BI, we create the relationship, everything, set our model, and then we just do drag and drop, and Power BI takes care of group by, aggregate, everything. And it is not that DAX is not doing group by in the back end. It does do the group by, summarize columns or summarize it and do that. A similar kind of job what we are doing in SQL or SQL. So we now got category wise total sales, or what we call the gross sales, and total quantity. And let me give it to you in the chat window. Some of you want to try it out later, and I am going to put all these things into a file on the GitHub account, and that GitHub folder, this is the folder, just for the reference I am going to tell you. So this GitHub folder, MS Fabric Bootcamp, this is missing that KQL code. I am going to load it to have that. In fact, I can try uploading that. I need to sign up. So let me do one thing. On the other window, let me upload it quickly. Asking for two-factor authentication, so we'll pause it and we'll continue our journey. Need to search for my mobile. Okay, so I'm going to continue to give you the commands and we'll continue to work on this. Fine. So we know how to run simple queries. Now I want to do a trend analysis. Now to do a trend analysis, challenge here is that I don't have a data which is from the current time. This is a little older data which I have, sample data which I got sometime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a where filter also. I want to get the data sometime back. So we have a filter here, ago days. So sales where order days is 3600 days ago, and I may have to change every time I do the class. I need to find out how many days ago that data is, because still the old sample data. And sometime what I do is when I loaded this data in SQL or somewhere, I do change the time, make it a little recent. Then summarize daily sales. Again, instead of total sale, I start calling it daily sales, same formula. By bin, this is for dates, in case your date might have timestamp. Order date, 1 day. The bin could be 1 day, 7 days, whatever we are going to try the 7-day bin also. Order by order date, ascending. So, but see, some of the things very similar to your SQL. So now we are getting the data, and if you're preparing for DP 700, please go ahead and find out most of these functions, like how you are going to do this, how you are going to summarize it, how you are going to show, only selected columns. Okay, all those things you have to do. So let's say if you want to show the selected columns only, I have not shown you that. Just want to show, like what we can do is select column 1, column 2, column 3 in SQL, isn't it? So in the same fashion we can do it. So sales, project, brand, category, city, and in the project itself I can add my calculation. This is line level calculation. So one of you has asked, what is the order of execution? So typical should be a joins where clause group by having select order by limit offset. That could be the particular order, but we can go into further details of that. I can share out some article with you. Okay, so let's go further. Now we have seen the 1-day bin, and after that we just tried out, how can we get the selected column in case I don't want all the columns, because I'm not going to summarize every time. So if I have a row level data, how I'm going to do that? Now same formula, I just want a 7-day bin now, and each one of them you can write down as SQL also. Okay, not that you are going to get using KQL only. SQL is supported, you can use SQL while you are analyzing. Okay, so now I have 7-day bin. It's automatically going to group the data within 7 days. So 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th, so 7-day bin it is. Now sometime what need to happen is that I want to create a formula, and then I want to use. Just want to create a formula first, and then I want to aggregate. It's a complex formula, 2-step, isn't it? We do subquerying first, we create some formula, and then we extend that formula. So can I create a formula first and then do aggregation? So let's try that also. Here, so what we are doing is sales extend, gross margin, quantity multiplied by price minus quantity multiplied by unit. So we got the margin. Now I am going to summarize it. Total sales, quantity multiplied by price Total gross margin equal to sum of gross margin by branch. You could have said, you could have written this entire formula inside sum, but to tell you we can use extend, and what happens if this comes in DP 700. We need to learn all these things, isn't it? One more. So now what we are doing is we are creating kind of a in-memory column definition and then using it in the next step. So now we know how can we do calculations, how can we do row level calculation with project. Select column is project here. So in SQL, what we simply write down select and column names. Here we have to write down project. Then we know how to group by, summarize. Okay. Now what we have not done is we have not got the top, isn't it? We always don't show the entire data. We want to, let's say, top brand, top category, or top brand plus categories. We know summarize is going to give us, but who's going to restrict that to top? Okay. So to restrict it to the top, we have top 5 by total sales, LES in use. So summarize total sales quantity multiply by price by brand by category. Now I have added 2, not 1. Not that I can give only one column. Just like group by can have multiple columns, here also we can have multiple columns. And then we're going to run this sales summarized by total sales quantity multiplied. And let me also share a couple of these things on the chat window. And let me also give you a document which is going to tell you the common operators what we have. Okay. So this is the official Microsoft document, and my advice would be, in case you are preparing for DP 700, make sure you just go through each and every line of this document. And for DP 700 it is really important. Okay. For DP 600 you should be knowing some of those things. You might get little less KQL, but yes, for DP 700 KQL is really important. So you can see here where clause, top clause, project, calculated columns, all those things. Everything what we are trying out here, you can see. Then use of aggregate functions, the same article. So do try it out. I've given you the article to refer on official Microsoft documentation in the chat window. Do try it out. So now I'm done with basic commands. If you have some questions, you can ask. Now what I'm going to do is, why don't we analyze some of those things? Dashboard, isn't it? We are doing this entire effort just to analyze this data. So let me run this first of all. Take 1000. I actually might not want to take 1000. I want to just take something based on the time, last few minutes or seconds. But here we don't have last few minutes and seconds data. Okay, Jayant has actually posted. Thanks Jayant for posting this. The order of execution, I think from, where, join, expand. He has deleted it. He's going to paste it again. Okay, so now I have this query. Now ideally I would have query which is giving me data in last 1 minute or something, last 1 hour, and maybe between the time duration. I would have preferred that to add to my dashboard, but anyways, I want to run this query and save it on my dashboard. Existing data or new, existing dashboard or new dashboard. Let's create this time new dashboard. real time dash 01 and tile name is last 1000. Just give this last time range, and if you want to use this, you have two variables basically. You can use those two variables, get that last 1 hour data. You can put that filter there. Now once you get this tile, you can view the query, you can copy, link to tile, you can explore the data, and you can add additional tiles here. Right now viewing mode, let's go to the editing mode. So I am here on the editing mode of the dashboard. So on the right top, I went ahead and changed it to editing mode. Okay. Now here I can set the alert, I can add a new tile, I can add a new text tile. And then new text tile I can have it here. Below then I can have this my data. This data is a little bigger, so I can go and elongate it. Okay. Then I want to have a new tile. Now here in this new tile, let me bring in some summarized data. I'm adding a new tile. Here I'm bringing in my gross margin by branch. Run this, apply changes, I got it. But I don't want everything which is basically these black and white tables, isn't it? So I want to, let me edit it. And once I click on edit, I see query, I see this table, and on the right hand side, I start seeing this visual formatting. And if I go to this visual formatting, there is a very small thing which is written visual type. I do have a title, description and everything. I can call it, let's say, gross margin. Then I have this table, and instead of table I can have bar. Okay, or I can have column bar and all those. Let me create it. But like should have not to branch. So we can decide the Y column, X column and all those. Let's see, we want to have another kind of chart. Let's say column area, column type, and then brand as string, column infer total sales. We can do certain settings. Legend location we can change, right, left, bottom. Select all, not. Then we can have the y-axis label, we can change, x-axis label we can change. All these things we can. Okay, and apply the changes. So now we have a similarly I could have a trend coming out. So what I can do here is basically I can bring different kind of visuals and add it to my real-time dashboard. And for the real-time dashboard, I can also go ahead and set up the frequency. So manage, and inside the manage I have this auto refresh option. It is disabled right now, my data is historical data, but I can enable it. Allow refresh continuous 10 second, 30 second, be careful whatever you set, and default refresh is off, continuous, on, all those things. So in case you are continuously getting real-time data, and that's where it wins over Power BI, that it has that capability of capturing that data in real time and showing you. You can create a Power BI dashboard. I can run a query and then I can say, okay, I want to create on that query a Power BI dashboard. That's again one limitation where I would prefer to move it to a Lakehouse, and there I want to analyze it along with my other data, Just don't want to set up a query and then create a dashboard. So in this manner, I can set up my refresh also, auto refresh. Download the file, replace with file parameters. This is what I was talking, that you have that underscore start time and underscore. Now when you are writing down your query, you can use this. What is the importance of this start time and end time? So we talked about this last 1 hour. So who's going to give me the last 1 hour? That's going to give me last 1 hour, start time and the end time. I can use it in my query where my date time is between start time and end time. And why I am not using it right now? Because my data is not real time. My data is in the past, so I have nothing in last 1 hour. In fact, not in last 365 days. But what you can do is, you can use this when you are actually using real time data. Underscore start time and underscore end time, you will be able to use in your queries, and based on those parameters, you should be able to control the data in your KQL queries which are populating these tiles. So we will be able to control this. And why we are going into details, please understand, this is one of the very important portion for DP700. So spend a lot of time learning KQL. So I've saved it. I have a real-time dashboard. I'm happy with this. So what we are going to do is, now we are going to come out of the KQL dashboard, and to close it, you don't see any close button. So on the left hand side here itself, I see a cross button. When I see the name in the left hand side, this quick shortcuts I have. I closed it. I'm back on my KQL data. We do have a Copilot option right now because I'm running on a free trial capacity. I will not be able to showcase you. Okay. There was an option to get it on Power BI. I'm just checking that out. Power BI report. Now what we are going to do, we are done with this real-time dashboard. We are done with the analysis. If you remember, we had our event stream. Okay. And from that event stream, we should be now getting the bicycle data. So now you can see this bicycle data which is coming. And so this is our bicycle data and this is our sales data. Okay. Now on the bicycle data is basically, if you see here, you should have a timestamp. This is the timestamp which you can control with that start date. So now what I can do here is, on this bicycle data, I can go ahead and create this Power BI report. So I got this Gusto query result, automatically bring that in, and then I can go ahead and let's say lat, long, and I should have a visual enabled for this one. If I don't have the visual enabled, then on the x-axis, if I put longitude, latitude, let's see if I have map enabled, because it was showing me a warning a couple of days back when I tried. Okay, so map is not enabled for me. So let me create a table visual. I got the longitude, latitude, and then I can have number of bikes. And I don't want the sum of longitude, latitude, so let me don't summarize. In Power BI, every time it sees the number, it has a habit of creating that as the aggregate. So we got long, lat, we got number of bikes, we can have street here, okay, and bike ID if you want. And bike ID, again, if it's a numeric, it try to summarize. If it's a non-numeric, it will leave it. You can get the row level data. We typically don't get the row level data in Power BI. It is always aggregated, and that is where you have to either have a primary key kind of a column to make sure it has that data at the row level, and that is non-aggregated. If you use summarize, min, max, then it's not again going. So now I'm able to create a Power BI report also. Very similar UI you have than other than real-time analytics. The only thing is we have more control on refresh frequency. We have that 1 hour window and all those things. They're very specifically designed for real time. Now here we have the report, and we can save this report. give it the name and the workspace. Typically, whatever workspace I'm working, I'm going to save it there, and we can call it real-time PBI report, Power BI report. So now we have a real-time Power BI report also. So we have event stream. We taken the event stream data to the activator. We have taken the same event stream data, the bicycle data, to Eventhouse, to the KQL DB or the Custo DB. From there, we can do the real-time dashboard. We can do Power BI dashboard. So the journey, end-to-end real-time journey we are doing here. We are bringing in data, analyzing it, and now you have to explore more options. The options which you have to explore, can you call a notebook on that? Isn't it? And what happens when you call it to the notebook? When you pass those contexts, are you able to take that context, take some action? So one of the requirement which customer comes up, and that you might also face, and which you should try out. Can I call any Azure AI algorithm? Can I have a trained model which I can call and put on these incoming values and take some action? And where that can happen? That can happen either by a notebook or already created job or the model. So the existing model, we have to call it out, and that is where we need that what you call the fabric objects. I think Shashi is asking about shortcut. I did see shortcut option here, and I can click here and click on new. I can go to OneLake. I can see warehouses and lakehouses. I can use Lake 01. Next, I can go to the table. Fact, sales fact. Next, I can rename it if required and create. So you can see this in shortcut, and let's see, query the code, show me 100 rows. This is the table in the Lakehouse. You created a shortcut and you are running a KQL. Look at the difference between the speed. Now this is a huge data. Okay, we have to do the count rows here, and this is calling it an external table. So let's look at the number of rows that we have. And this sample data is little big. Okay, to let you know. You might saying, okay, the external table has become slow. No, this is 50 million rows. So we're talking about 50 million rows as an external table to the KQL, and KQL is running it. Okay, and let's do the same thing on SQL, isn't it? Now SQL anyway you could have run there, but we are developers. We would like to experiment always. Query the code SQL 200 rows. So almost similar. It's 1.7 seconds. So let's run this again. One is faster. Seems like SQL is winning here, but do little more experiment with lot more complex queries. That which one works here. Now definitely Lakehouse is not native to the KQL, so definitely you will see some differences. But the basic objective is bringing a shortcut is that you can bring that data in. Right now we did not discuss how can we bring the data in from two tables. So that's basically objective, that you have the two data together and then you analyze it. Now again here you have the set alerts, create Power BI report, export to CSV, copy query, all the functionality which are there. Do look at all of these things. Do look at all the settings, all the properties. When you go here on the workspace, you will get this KQL database, and you get the Eventhouse and then the KQL database. You have to go to these three dots, then you have these sharing and these properties, whatever you have. Please go through the details of these things. Are also really important whenever you wanted to go ahead and give the DP700 exam. Do explore all these options. You should click and see what all details are there and what all you can do, or what all changes you can bring in there. So with this, we will go to wrap up today's session. I don't see many questions coming out. I think Sasi's question I did answer, that we can create a shortcut here, and we can bring in the data from our existing lake houses, warehouses, or KQL database, and work here together with our real-time data. So my advice would be try that out. We will be live again on Monday, but yes, we are not stopping. Tomorrow 2 times I'm going to be live again. I'm going to share that information on WhatsApp. Those who are part of the WhatsApp or following me on LinkedIn, you're going to get that information very soon. Tomorrow I will be there live on 11 a.m. We will be talking about warehouse, and at 3 p.m. I'm going to talk about time intelligence in the um, DP 300. So DP 600, PL 300 is tomorrow's target. Monday we will be back again with DP 700, and this is the link. Don't forget to join. Do start early. So thanks everyone who has joined for today's session. I'm going to wrap it up, but continue to ask questions in WhatsApp, in the comments of the videos. Any of the videos which you are watching, you can watch that on the channel. You have more than, now I think almost we have 1,000 videos around Power BI, Microsoft Fabric. I think Fabric also we have now 100 plus videos. A lot of content is there, I think, to help you out. Just make sure that you watch it, and some of these contents has been grouped into BI World. So if you search biworld.in, you will be able to get this grouped content. Like if Power BI created a video and if that is also not complete, then I created it together in a course. So now I'm going to end this today's call, and thank you all for joining in such early morning, and look forward to see you on Saturday and Monday.